And we're back on the Lindsey Beckham Show, and Lindsey has just arrived, and
Shaun,
my
you know,
stuff is working.
you know what? You know what I need?
What's that?
I guess I need a. Well, I guess I need stuff that works, but also maybe a time traveler,
What's that?
so that I don't have to get stuck in traffic or blocked in at places. So I could have been here. I had a time traveler.
Okay, I got you.
The
What are you trying to tell
DeLorean?
me? I don't know.
Because we saw the movie last
Oh,
night.
okay, I got you. Sorry, I was laughing. Yeah, so
Uh,
Lindsay's
it's
talking about we went to Mistletoe last night. No, we didn't. I would. That's not something you'd ever catch me doing. Nothing against the people that do it, by the way. But I just
you turned that volume up. Yeah.
yeah.
I, I,
So
I don't.
so
I don't
the
know. I don't know what's going on.
yeah. Go ahead now. Go. What were you saying?
I don't know. Nothing.
Okay. No, I'm just waiting on you. What do you say?
Well, that's what I was saying. I need a time traveler so that I can get here.
Okay. And yeah. So we went to where did we go last night?
To the movies to
Okay.
see. What's the name of the movie that we saw?
Back to the Future.
Yeah.
It is the 40th anniversary of Back to the Future, so we went and saw that last night. And Lindsay, this was the first time you ever saw that?
Yes, it is. It is the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not on the right mic.
Bro,
Okay, that's the problem.
Yep, you're good to go now.
I don't know. Let me see here.
I can hear you now.
Okay, good deal.
All right.
I was like, something's not right, but I could hear me, but I couldn't tell what the problem was. Okay, that's much better.
You better? Okay. So what were you saying now?
Okay, so what I was saying was I need a time traveler. We went to see the 40th anniversary of Back to the Future last night. And if I had a time traveler, what do they call that thing? A DeLorean?
DeLorean. Yeah.
Then I could have just sped up to 88 miles an hour and been here instead of getting blocked in at the school. We had our Thanksgiving lunch for the kids with their parents at the elementary school today, and some jerk blocked me in. So I had to wait on him to come out of the school and move his vehicle. But see, that's if I had a time traveler, I could have just traveled to the future right at the time for the show to start.
Yeah, well, that seems like something you need for the to get here on time most days. So that's
No, look, I'm here most days on time.
Yep, I understand. Anyway, well, we went and saw that, and the joke that I was making her last night was that when I was a kid watching that movie, it seemed like 1955 was a long time ago. I was a kid in the 1980s. I'm 46 now, and so you're looking at 1955, and you're like, man, that's a long time ago. Even the 90s when I used to watch it, but now as an older person, you look at it and you're like, wait, that was when Marty went back from 85 to 55, that was only 30 years ago. Like that'd be like us going back to 1995.
And then
you think about it, that's gonna be like, oh, okay.
Then Shaun makes the comment, I don't really think there's that big of a difference between 1995 and today. And I was like, oh, yes, there is. I can't imagine if we went forward in the future to today from 1995, we would think everybody was crazy. We would say, what are all these things people have in their hands all the time that they're staring at? And what happened to phone books? And what are these screens that aren't TVs that everybody's looking at? I mean, it would be a big difference in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it would. It didn't. I think I was saying the difference in the way the cars looked from the 50s to the 80s was a pretty big difference. But that's about all I can really think of. I don't know. I wasn't around. I mean, I was around the 80s. I was a little kid, but not in the 50s. But the 90s now do look completely different to now in terms of technology. It's just completely different. It was not everybody got to know what their neighbor was thinking in the 90s. Now, you're like, oh, that's Johnny from high school. Man, I always, well, now he's confirmed he's an idiot because we always thought that back then. But now we know, like for sure, 100%.
One thing we haven't conquered is like in the Jetsons and even in Back to the Future, they are driving cars in the air. And so we have cars that drive themselves now, but we haven't made it to the air yet. And then you said, I don't think everybody should have like a pilot's license.
Yeah, I think the flying cars thing it sounded cool when I was a kid. Now knowing adults, I don't want anybody to have a flying car. I think that's the worst.
You don't think I would do well with one?
No, that'd be terrible. I don't think anyone needs a flying car or anything. The hoverboard I'm down with, but no flying cars for most people I know. And but
about the Nikes though.
the super the quick lace Nikes were pretty cool.
We looked them up last night, y'all, and they were like $30,000 on eBay.
If you know what I'm talking about, the Back to the Future Nikes that are the I guess the automatic lace, the whatever it is. Anyway, those are, you can buy them, but they're $30,000. And there's a lot of people that are buying them. You go on eBay, there's a bunch of them. Just kind of like I was talking to some guys at CrossFit the other day. We were discussing old toys from the 80s when we were kids that we'd love to have. And one was the USS Flags, which is Flag, which was the G.I. Joe aircraft carrier. Now, if you're a guy my age, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Only your rich
Is that like a Barbie dream house?
Yeah, I mean, kind of the same thing. And like, you know what I'm talking about? Like the only kid that would have that would be your rich friend, because it couldn't even fit in your most like bedrooms or kids' bedrooms.
Oh, is that big?
Yeah, it was gigantic. And it was really expensive. Even at the time, I think it cost like $300 in like 1985. So it was, quite
that
expensive.
Would be like $3,000.
Something like that. Yeah, something crazy. And so I've looked those up too. And those are around $30,000 if you want one that's like never been opened. Now you can get some, you can build them, or it's a little cheaper. But if you look at these old toys, I collect some. I got some old Star Wars toys that I try to collect, and that stuff's pretty expensive too. But we were going through that the 1980s nostalgia toys, and it's a really big market for that. I guess what happens when guys get old in their 40s, they start remember being a kid and when things were nicer. And
yeah.
And everyone listened to everybody complain all the time, and there weren't bills due and all that stuff.
Exactly.
So you're like, let me go buy some toys.
Well, now tonight we're gonna have to watch the third one because
oh yeah, when they go back to the Old West, that's my favorite one actually.
So I saw the first one in the movies last night, and then we got back to Shaun's and watched the second one.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to have to finish out the series.
And you were shocked to know. So anybody that's seen Back to the Future 2, because we did watch that afterwards, they go to the future and then they gotta go back to 1985, but it's an alternate 1985 because old Biff steals what's called the sports almanac and takes it back to his young self. Long story short, but then when they get back to 85, Biff is like this casino owner, and it was based on Donald Trump at the time.
Yeah,
what the makers of the movies did.
And when you see him in his office and he's got his like self-portrait hanging behind him, it really does kind of look like Donald Trump.
I sent you the article where they talk about that. And the article's like 10 or 12 years way before he was president, saying that that portrait scene was based on Trump. Like they did that Trump era stuff. They based the Biff Tannen in the casino on Trump.
Isn't that funny that they did that? They based that character on Trump long before he ever thought of running for president or became president. It's crazy to think that he still had that persona even then.
Well, yeah, I mean, the late 80s, that was his kind of Atlantic City casino days. So like that was his big
he was kind of known as like the man of business, the richest, most successful kind of businessman, I guess.
Yeah, he was super well known, really famous at that point. And he was out there, in the public eye pretty big. I think that was around close to the time he got divorced from his first wife, so that scandal was real big at that time, and then all that stuff. So yeah,
hail Donald Trump.
Yeah, I mean he was he was there, except for the voters, right? Tuesday night. But anyway, so yeah, we recommend go catch it. It's all week. It'll take you back to being to a better time, I would say.
Yeah, and it's so funny because the day they went back in time was November 5th, right?
Yeah,
and we actually saw it in the theater on November 5th. We realized that as we were watching it,
November
or
5th,
you did?
Yeah, November 5th, 1955 is when they go back. But it's a nice thing to go do. Go to the movies and see these old movies instead of I used to go to the movies all the time, but now all the modern movies just are terrible. So I don't. Really
We talked about this last night too, and there's just so much content out there to digest that you just don't have the time to do it. It's not like just this big actors do the special movies that are in the theaters anymore, because there's so many made straight to Netflix or straight to Hulu or straight to Amazon Prime, straight to HBO Max that it's just not as big of a deal, and it's become so expensive. But we saw Jaws not too long ago, and it really is cool to see these older movies and just the quality of them looks so good today on the big screen.
Yeah, it looks great. So we recommend it'll be there all week. And but I guess we've yapped about movies enough.
Well, it's a better thing to do than to go into law enforcement and then cover for the cartel.
Yeah,
right. I mean, that's a better way to spend your time, going to see old movies.
there's been cops have been getting in trouble a lot lately. I was explaining in the first segment about the bust in the Delta regarding all the sheriffs and the sheriff's deputies in Humphreys County, Washington County. I think it's the actual sheriff of Washington County and the sheriff of Humphreys County, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, getting over there, my neck of the woods,
yeah,
close to where I grew up.
Taking money, protection for dope dealers. Yeah,
seems wild to me, Shaun, because when you're in law enforcement, you would think that you want your cities and your counties to be some of the safer ones. That means you're doing a good job. But it also seems to me that if you are covering for people bringing in, smuggling in drugs, that you're going to have some of the unsafest areas. So I mean, I'm guessing they were being paid.
Well, yeah. I mean, they didn't do it for free.
I mean,
that's what that reminds me of. So I was giving a speech to, I was invited to Ole Miss the Ole Miss Law School a few weeks ago to give a speech to the students.
Just famous lawyer these days.
Yeah, and what I was explaining them. Let me use they don't need me to speak in public with the way I talk. I was talking about kind of my career over the last 20 years and what had happened when I was an assistant DA in Hinds County. My old boss got indicted, Robert Smith, and I was telling them about that. One of them involved a dope dealer named Christopher Butler, and one of the students, asked me like, "Well, why was Mr. Smith helping the District Attorney Smith helping the dope dealer Chris Butler?"
Is that the mattress guy?
Yeah, the mattress guy. And I said, "Well, what do you mean? Like, why was he helping him? Like, why would he do that?" Well, I was like, because of money. And they looked at me like shocked, like they didn't know that that actually happened in real life. That people took.
Well,
bribes.
I mean, have they never heard of Chokwe Lumumba and Jody Owens?
Yeah, I tied it into that kind of thing too, as well. How that happened with what's happened currently with actually though, with Jody Owens and Chokwe, that was like this real estate deal that wasn't really related to. Well, at least to Jody's office. Yeah, but not to Jody's office. At least as his function as DA, he's not indicted for anything with that. But with Chokwe, he is for sure. For what he got bribed for what he did as mayor. But Jody was just. Wasn't
like the middleman.
Well, it wasn't his functions as DA, like that was, but still same, but it wasn't his functions as DA, but Chokwe was as mayor.
But that's why he had that relationship with Chokwe, because he's the mayor and he's the DA.
Sure. Right. Of course. Yeah. Then you get that influence, but it was like related to his, private work as a private businessman, where Chokwe they did, he organized the bribes for these guys according to the indictments or whatever. And, but I mean, same. It's all corruption, and we're talking about and people that are in public offices, just like you said, my old boss was involved in that, got indicted for that, and there was testimony that came out on the trial that he had accepted money. I don't know whether he did or not. There was testimony from a guy named Too Sweet. That was Too Sweet was a guy that hung out at the office.
Now, is that the guy that's not the same guy that was just killed?
No,
the Hinds County.
No, okay. We'll get into that, but no, Too Sweet was this guy that was. What's his name? Too Sweet Robert Henderson. He was I forget what he did. Anyway, Robert got him a pardon from Haley Barber, and that came out of the trial. That's where this is true. And he had testified that he had given Robert some money during the trial, but he was never convicted for that. So you'd have to, I guess, if you believe Too Sweet, that's what happened. I mean,
it's kind of hard. It would be kind of hard for me to believe a man named Too Sweet.
Well, you don't trust a guy named Too Sweet?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Well, imagine me explaining this to a bunch of 24-year-olds. Who had, the only thing they'd heard about bribery was on TV, maybe a little bit, or I mean, they haven't lived their lives yet. So these are like 24-year-old law students that are. But
I'm sure they watch 48 Hours or what. They watch these shows that teach them how to be.
I don't know what they watch these days. I just know they didn't know what I was talking about when I was explaining that public officials get bribed. It's like the oldest thing in the world. And they look shocked, like that's going to happen when we're lawyers. Yep, unfortunately, it is. Like there's going to be a lot of corrupt people that you're going to run into in this business, and in all businesses, there's going to be corrupt people and law enforcement,
well, especially in law enforcement and politics.
Yeah, law enforcement politics are like some of the worst because you got power, and when you got power, people want access to that power, and they're going to do ways to get it, and which usually involves money. I mean, that's what happens. Now, sometimes it doesn't involve money as much. If you go back to the Dickie Scruggs scandal, now there were money bribery.
He's just a terrible man.
Related to that scandal, but if I take it, home to Hinds County, Judge Bobby DeLauder, same Bobby DeLauder that prosecuted Byron de la Beckwith, he didn't take money, and that's not why he went to jail. He had tried to get a judgeship, a federal judgeship. He wanted to get appointed to that, so that's why he kind of did his deal. So he was access to power to try to get that, and not actually money. But other people were trying to get money, so just one or the other. Like you're trying to get power or money or whatever. So then that tends to happen in law enforcement and politics, and that's just, you know, you have people that have those that are elected those positions, that are appointed to those positions, that are, you know, get those jobs, and sometimes the wrong people get them and they get corrupted. And we've seen a lot of that. We've seen a lot of that in the last couple of years when in Rankin County with the Goon Squad and the things that they abuse their power. And we've seen that now in the Delta here. We've seen people, but then I was explaining in the first segment, you know, we've seen people that are not abusing their power, like Michael Reinwald and Stephen Frederick, that are just doing their jobs, and they get punished for it too. So like everybody gets lumped into this one thing.
Right. And I mean, and I think it makes the job more scary. It puts our law enforcement officers at a greater risk because there's this mindset that there's so many in law enforcement that you can't trust.
Yeah.
And so that just makes every situation for both the public and law enforcement more dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, if you think you know, every officer you run into is corrupt or going to beat you, then you're not going to trust them, and that. I mean, that sucks. Or, and I'll take that. Forget about the cop angle for one moment. The prosecutor angle, the defense lawyer, the judge angle. How many times have you heard now working with me, the judge got paid off? Right?
Yeah,
you hear that, and 99.9% of the times that is not true. That's not true at all. But
sometimes they make bad decisions and let killers walk.
Yeah, and people believe it because of things like this thing in the Delta, or the things with Jody and Chokwe, and things with my old boss, Robert Smith. The whole justice system gets tainted by the bad apples, and therefore everybody's like, well, everybody up there's on the take. And I can tell you from personal experience, not everybody up there is on the take. I had a government job. At times I had a hard time making my rent. Yes, I didn't make a lot of money, but I wanted to do, I mean, I'm kidding. I could pay my rent, but it doesn't, my point is it doesn't.
Unless you bought a TV.
Yeah, bought a TV one time. But it doesn't, it's not like it pays a ton of money that you can make in the private sector. And 90%, 95% of the people that are working in government jobs are doing the right thing, or not corrupt. But there's that portion that is, unfortunately, and it taints everybody with that. So you could be working on a case and they're like, well, you must have got paid up. No, I didn't. Or I'd be driving a nicer car. I never got paid up. But people think that.
Yeah.
And like, I can't tell you how many, even, you know, current clients, past clients, just people, and like, will say, well, that must have been, there was a shady deal there. 95% of the time, there's not a shady deal. There's not. Like, I mean, there was no, if somebody had ever walked into my office when I was an assistant DA and said, hey, Shaun, I got this, 10 grand, and can you get rid of this case? I'm like, get the F out of here. And I would have called the FBI. Like, there's no way I would. And, you know, everybody else.
You can trust them these days.
Well, everybody else that was an assistant DA with me that I know that are friends would have done the same thing. I'm not like I'm special or anything. They would have done the same thing. So if you tried to do that and bribe an assistant DA, they're going to call the FBI. I mean, now there may be the one that doesn't, like the one that got indicted, Ivan Johnson with Robert. Okay, well, he didn't, and then the FBI busted him. So yes, there's that small percentage, and that kind of shakes people's confidence in the entire system because of that. Because there shouldn't even be that. Like why are you going to? And I said this back then when Ivan Johnson got indicted, Robert's assistant DA, who was one of my coworkers, and Robert Smith. Like, why are you going to go through law school, all these years of school, 4 years of undergrad, 3 years of law school,
all those loans you got to pay back,
and someone's going to give you $5 grand, and you're going to go like ruin your life over that? What, $5,000, $10,000? I mean, it's insane, but it happens all the time, all over the country. We see that because people are not thinking like, God, I'm not thinking about the 10, 20 years of work I've put into all this, my career, but I want the 10 grand so I can dismiss this case. And there's that percentage of people that do it, but the majority do not. And I don't think the public really sees the ones that are, because you never hear about the people that are doing the really good job, the hard work,
the ones that turn down the bribes.
Yeah. And then have called the FBI and said, hey, guess what? I tried to give me some money and I didn't take it. So that's our system, and it's never going to change because it's human nature. There's people that are bad people that are going to take money to do things.
And there's people who are bad people who are going to offer money to get out of trouble and to make something go away.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'm sure that happens more times than we could ever even know about.
Yeah. Oh,
it never sees the light of day.
Absolutely. I thankfully no one has ever tried to bribe me, and I'm glad for that, because
I try to bribe you all the time. What are you talking about?
I would have been scared of somebody. I really would, because I would have thought I would have got in trouble just for someone asking me, or I'd have been like, do I look like the kind of guy that can be bribed? Like, is something about me, and it does
Your
that.
anxiety
My
would have
anxiety
taken
would have
over.
gone crazy about that. I would like
It would have.
Never would have worked.
It would. You wouldn't have slept for years afterwards.
No.
Like, why did they think I would be the one to do? I can just see you. I can hear you.
Well, even my name was in the paper about that whole Chris Butler thing because we were prosecuting him and Robert was protecting him. They were like making the allegations that we were protecting, we set Butler up, that set the dope dealer up, that we planted dope on him. And that's another long story. But I mean, I got anxiety from that. I'm like, how do I plant dope? Like, I don't even, I'm not supposed to do that. Just declaring ledger for you folks. The media, Donald Trump is right about this. Fake news is a true thing.
That's Anna. What's her name for you?
Anna Wolf. That's right. Well, we will be back to talk about the case in Hinds County that just happened with the deputy.
His name is not too sweet, but maybe it should have been.
I'll find his name in a minute, and we will be back on the Lindsey Beckham Show. Stay tuned.
But maybe it should have been.
I'll find his name in a minute, and we will be back on the Lindsey Beckham Show. Stay tuned.
1039 WYAB.
Friday Night Lights, family, and a hot Johnny's Pizza House pizza on the table. Now, that's our kind of heaven. Make it a sweep the kitchen and bring everyone together. Johnny's Pizza House. Let's share a slice. Here in the South, we keep our football loud and our pizza loaded. Grab a Johnny's Pizza House, sweep the kitchen, and cheer on your hometown team. Johnny's Pizza House. Let's share a slice.
Pure Air Consultants has always been your go-to for reliable and affordable heating and cooling systems, and now we are offering day and night brands to avoid the 25 to 30% increases that everyone is talking about. With day and night, Pure Air Consultants professionals can install a reliable system with a 10-year system warranty. And right now receive $20 off on service diagnostic fees. Call us today, 601-939-7420, mypureairconsultants.com.
Nick Bain served Mississippi for over a decade in the State House. During that time, he fought for our children by protecting them against explicit materials pushed by the woke agenda. He protected taxpayers by streamlining government and helped create policies that have made Mississippi better. Nick and his team at Bain Bowen will use the same tenacity in helping you with all your legal matters. Call them today at 601-953-2994. Find Nick online at bainbowen.com. That's BAIN Bowen.com.
CBS News Brief. This just in, a jury in Virginia has awarded $10 million to former teacher Abby Werner, who was shot by a 6-year-old student in her classroom in 2023. Also breaking, a judge has ordered federal agents in Chicago to restrict using force against protesters and media, saying current practices violate their constitutional rights. Thousands of delays at airports today ahead of the FAA order that will cancel many flights at 40 major airports beginning tomorrow. This woman in Detroit has a message for lawmakers.
Please get your act together. We love traveling. We love the TSA. We need to treat people right and get these planes out of here on time.
President Trump just announced a deal with 2 drug makers to expand coverage and reduce prices for their weight loss drugs Zepbound and Wegovy.
Until now, neither of these 2 popular drugs have been covered by Medicare for weight loss, and they've only rarely been covered by Medicaid.
CBS News Brief. I'm Stacey Lynn.
Yazoo Valley Electric Power Association wants you to stay away from downed power lines. Downed power lines carry the risk of deadly electric shock, even if the broken wire is not sparking. If a wire is crossing a road or driveway, avoid the area and keep others away. If you see a downed power line, back away and call your utility company or 911. When you call, be prepared to provide the specific address or location of the downed power line so a repair crew can get there as quickly as possible. This safety message brought to you by Yazoo Valley Electric Power Association.
You can show your pride and patriotism in honor of the 250th birthday of this great nation by proudly flying a flag. And a complete flag source on I-55 in Jackson is the place to find it. All sizes for all purposes. And they have the official 250-year celebration flag. Have a look at CompleteFlags.com. That's CompleteFlags.com.
You know what's a nightmare? We've all seen that movie where the bad guy's coming and your gun jams up. Luckily, that's just a movie, but you can't take the chance it could happen to you in real life. Hey, y'all, I'm Therese Apel from Dark Horse Press, and I've written stories about a whole lot of situations where people needed their gun to work for them. So if yours is moody or likes to jam, you need to take it to Guns and Gear. Let their professional gunsmiths look at it and fix it so it'll work when you need it. They're the absolute best at what they do, and that's why I buy all my guns from them. That's Guns and Gear in Gluckstadt. Check them out today.
This copy machine has me so frustrated. I could just body slam it. Oh!
Whoa there, leave the body slamming to the pros. And leave superior high-quality office tech to the experts at Advantage Business Systems, brother.
Woo! Get it!
Never body slam your copy machine again. Visit absms.com. Advantage Business Systems, laying the smackdown on bad tech.
Getting a new prescription filled in your eyeglasses may not get rid of your headaches. It may not be the prescription at all. If your eyeglasses are not custom fit and properly adjusted to you, that could be the source of your headaches. At Eye Gear Optical, we verify the prescription in your lenses and the custom fitting of your frames to ensure you have the most comfortable and visually accurate eyeglasses every time. We fit eyeglasses to you, your lifestyle, and your budget. Eye Gear Optical, 2630 Highway 80 East in Pearl, and eyegearoptical.com.
Come together right now over me.
And we're back on the Lindsey Beckham Show talking about corruption. Pretty much, we're talking about corruption, right? We've done a lot about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good week to talk about it after all these Democratic wins.
Yes, we did whip y'all's butt pretty good. It was total butt whipping. So
not as far as school board races go.
Yeah, just for my buddy. I haven't texted my buddy Kim Wade about the. He's probably hurting a little bit. So I will do that later today.
I'm sure Kim's just fine.
I'm sure he is too.
Kim, if you are listening, please roast him
all right.
greatly on your show this afternoon.
It's all right, Kim, man. You know, look, that's just when we win, it just helps you. You get more of an audience. People tune in because they're mad, but it's all right. It's all right.
Oh, look.
Hey, look, let's just hope Obamacare covers that butt whipping because, you know, you might want to get treatment for that.
Well, I very seriously doubt it because Obamacare covers nothing.
Right. Anyway, we were talking about the.
This is what we do all the time. This is the banter.
Yeah, that's why we're agreeing not to talk about politics on the radio anymore. I'm talking about the law and stuff because they'll get into this, and especially after
it gets a little heated.
Especially after Tuesday, I was enjoying heckling Lindsey.
Look, I'm not that upset about it. I honestly think it's going to be a good thing for us.
That's what losers say. That's what they say. Like, it's going to be good things to get lost.
There's no losing. No losing.
That's what I said after the election 2024. Oh, this is good. We'll reform, and we did.
No losing as far as my elections went.
Uh-huh. All right. Well, that's one way to look at it.
Somebody did lose, and he was a law enforcement officer in Hinds County.
Oh, really?
Lost his life.
Oh, that's right. We were talking about. Okay, so there was a deputy that was killed. Do you remember the deputy's name? Actually, that was killed last week.
No, it's not too sweet.
It's not. No, I was talking to somebody about him this morning. Anyway, there's a man named Ladarien Jones who is if you go to Jackson Jambalaya, he's a star of what Kingfish will call the catch and release program in Hinds County. That he's called that for that a long time, and which means I guess they catch everybody and release them.
You don't keep them.
Even when I was working there, he'd use this, and so I'm like, Jimmy, stop writing that. You're trying to do a good job here. But so he's been arrested for the murder of the Hinds County deputy who was killed.
They used to call it the safe haven. Criminals would flee to Jackson because they wouldn't get arrested there, and if they were arrested there, they were released.
What?
Almost immediately.
Oh, the what about the about Hinds County?
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, that's what he would call it. So, but he was arrested in Vicksburg yesterday for killing the Hinds County deputy at his home, I believe, on Dorgan Street, where he was.
So what was that in Vicksburg? His home was in Vicksburg.
No, the Hinds County deputy was in Vicksburg. I mean, the Hinds County deputy was in Dorgan Street in Jackson. The killer was caught in Vicksburg, the alleged killer.
Gotcha. So what was he doing at the deputy's home?
That I don't know. So the rumor is, I guess, that they knew each other maybe from the jail. But that's what I've been told. I don't know how true that is. I don't know anything really more than that. But that that they may have known each other is what I'm hearing from the courthouse rumor mill. I mean, I'm not going to go any further than that. No, I'm not. So that's all I've heard. Well, that's all I'm going to say that I've heard.
That's why I was trying to make the Well, I guess I shouldn't make a joke about it.
Yeah, I'm not going to make a joke about it. Now, law enforcement, apparently he was a good guy, was killed. And
Yeah, that's awful.
And I don't know anything.
That's very sad.
There's a lot of, you can go on, if everybody wants the rumors, they can go on, you can see it on Facebook because they're all over the place, but I'm not going to repeat that stuff that's out there. All I know is that they may have been, what I have heard is that they may have been familiar with each other as far as I know. So, that's it. I mean, why do you look at me that way? That's all I'm
No, I'm not. They may have been familiar with each other, and
that's all I know.
One of them died, but the even sadder part of this, and I think this is probably what Kingfish was alluding to in his article, is that why was this guy not in jail?
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, that's I mean that's what he's discussing.
Because it seems like had he has these previous arrests and these previous allegations. I don't know if he was ever convicted of anything, but there was obviously previous trouble, and Hinds County, like Kingfish likes to call it, the catch and release program, let him walk, or so it seems.
Well, there was I mean, that's the theme of it. So I'm sorry, I was looking up the name of the deputy because I hate not being able to say that. His name is Sergeant James Dotson, who died Sunday evening on Dorgan Street, where I believe he lived.
Did anybody else die as well? Was there a second person that died?
Not as far as I know. I've not read.
Was there a second person injured? Where am I getting that from?
I've not read that. I don't think that's part of it.
Okay, I don't know why I was thinking there was another, like a third person.
Yeah, and what
involved.
Lindsey's referring to about the catch and release, and what we're talking about. So the suspect in this case is Ladarien Jones, which again I said the rumor mill is that they
had some sort of relationship.
Right.
They knew each other.
Yeah, some sort of relationship that they knew each other. That's all I know or willing to say what I've heard so far. So Mr. Jones, though, has had a torrid criminal history over the last decade almost, nearly since at least 2017. And what he was arrested for armed robbery and aggravated assault on January 2nd of 2017, where he allegedly shot a 17-year-old in Clinton. And that case, when I'm reading, was my old boss had it, Robert Shuler Smith, and it wasn't.
So it was a long time ago.
Yeah, 2017. He was still DA then,
Gotcha.
And it was never indicted. He was never indicted in that case.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna.
I mean,
I don't know what happened there.
Neither were.
Not that I have.
Neither were James Mitchell or Matt Wakehurst.
That was before Robert Smith, but yeah, yeah. So he was not indicted. You know, maybe he knew Robert, maybe he didn't. I don't know. Robert's dead now. He can't sue me for defamation. No, he'd probably want to.
He'd probably try. He might try to from the grave. Who knows?
There was known to things to go disappearing, is all I'm saying. And so he was not indicted then, but then he was indicted by the Hinds County grand jury in 2018 for another crime. It was the murder of an Alexandria dog.
Lots of murders.
Yeah. Well, no, the first one was armed robbery and
okay.
Yeah, armed robbery and aggravated assault. Then it was a murder of an Alexandria dog. Well, that case didn't go to trial, Lindsey, for 6 years.
Was that a woman?
Yeah, I believe so. It's just Alexandria, but it could be a guy. I don't know. I mean, that case didn't go. I'm assuming it's a woman.
It didn't go to trial for 6 years.
For 6 years, yeah, it took 6 years from 2018 till obviously around 2000. Must have been last year. 2000.
Was he in jail that entire time? I wonder.
I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea if he was sitting on arraignment for 6 years, which is possible because I have a client that's been out there for like 5. So I mean, that happens, but I don't know if he was or not. It doesn't say. But what is interesting about this is that after 6 years, so it goes from one DA to another. Robert's DA in 2018. Jody is in 2024 by the time it goes to trial. Judge Wooten issued what's called a directed verdict for acquittal in the trial,
which never happens, by the way.
It's rare. It's very rare.
Extremely rare.
Yeah, and what a directed verdict is, y'all, is the defense will move at the close of the state's evidence. When the state puts on all its evidence, the state will move what's called a directed verdict. And what a directed verdict is going to do is saying that the evidence is legally insufficient
to even let the jury debate.
Yeah, it's what it means. It's legally
deliberate.
So it's legally insufficient for a reasonable juror to deliberate on it. That's the issue with it.
So they throw it out basically before the jury even
Yeah, it's a directed verdict of acquittal, and no reasonable juror can find guilt beyond a reasonable doubt because the evidence is legally insufficient. So it basically is like if somebody, let's say you were charged with an armed robbery, and the statute says that the armed robbery is to take personal property of another by threat or use of a firearm or a deadly weapon or whatever, and you don't prove the person had a firearm. Well, then it's not an armed robbery. It's legally insufficient. Maybe it could be a strong arm robbery, so you can downgrade the charge. But that creates like, okay, well, the state's never put on the evidence the guy had a weapon. So then how is that an armed robbery if you can't ever prove, you never put on that evidence? So that's what happens. The state has not put on the evidence, according to the court here, that's what the court was saying, to prove that a murder had happened. Now, I don't know the facts of this or why the judge would have done that. It also, I tell you this,
Strange.
I don't know why. It seems to me the state, it'd be hard for the state to put on a murder case, having tried as many as I have. I mean, I've tried at least over 50 murder cases as a prosecutor, probably more than that. I can't imagine a single time that I would have been like, well, I'm going to take to trial a case that I cannot get over a directed verdict. Like, if my case is that weak, then I'm probably not going to go to trial on it. And
You're not going to, they wouldn't be indicted.
Well, no,
right?
He would have been indicted. I mean, there's plenty of murder cases that have got indicted that are crap and that I didn't take to trial.
So what do you do then?
I mean, you would either dismiss it or try to plead it if you could. And if you couldn't plead it, you'd probably dismiss it. But if it's so bad that you can't even get past a directed verdict, that's a problem. Now, the prosecutor that had it, I know who I was talking to somebody, I know it is. He wouldn't have done that. I'm sure he had a good case. And apparently,
so that makes you wonder why the judge made that decision.
Yeah, that really does, because I wouldn't think there's no way he put on a case where he didn't think he could prove it beyond a reasonable doubt, or at least prove it beyond a directed verdict.
Well, and especially when you look at, okay, so this guy, he's in trouble in 2017 for armed robbery. He gets in trouble again in 2018 for an alleged murder. That doesn't go to trial, so he could have been sitting in jail until 2024. Here we are in 25, and now there's another murder.
Now we got another murder.
So it's like, hey,
yeah,
why is he on the street?
No, I mean, and this is like a year ago that this directed verdict was granted. So I'm going to look into that case and find out. I was told to talk to the person who actually prosecuted it, and they're good lawyers. So I imagine they're going to give me a rundown on it and how this occurred. But I got a few other tidbits about that too on the next segment of the Lindsey Beckham Show. Stay tuned.
Format printing, such as banners, yard signs, blueprints, and canvas prints. We also print business cards, invitations, photos, and more. And with the holidays coming fast, let us print your Christmas cards. Many projects may be ready the same day, and the mailroom Gluckstadt is still your place for shipping, drop-offs, and gift wrapping. Visit us at 272 Calhoun Station Parkway, across from Callaway's in Gluckstadt. Mailroomgluckstadt.com.
Get a great deal on versatile Kubota equipment today, like the Kubota L-Series compact tractor, the #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S., C-Series mowers, and Sidekick utility vehicles. Stop by your local Kubota dealer today. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment with 0% financing available, or save up to $3,500. Now through December 31st, see us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Divini Equipment, serving you in Madison and Jackson. Stop, call, or click at DiviniEquipment.com.
Friday night lights, family, hot Johnny's Pizza House pizza on the table. Now that's our kind of hustle. Make it a sweep the kitchen and bring everyone together. Johnny's Pizza House. Let's share a slice. Here in the South, we keep our football loud and our pizza loaded. Grab a Johnny's Pizza House, sweep the kitchen, cheer on your hometown team. Johnny's Pizza House. Let's share a slice.
I like my insurance like I like my burrito, with everything rolled into one. It was in a state of craving amigo, so my agent showed me how it's done. He wrapped up my auto, my home, and my life. The discounts I'm getting are great. Everything good right there on one plate. Get to a better state, State Farm.
To keep more of your money in your pocket, call John Dorsa at 978-2302.
Hey, freedom lovers, Big River Ballistics in Morton is your one-stop shop for all your 2A needs. From suppressors to everyday carry pistols and everything in between, we've got the gear. Tested at our beautiful facility and stretch out your rifle on our 1,150-yard range. Memberships start at only $40 a month. And hey, veterans, first responders, military, you're getting 10% off everything, including memberships. Visit BigRiverBallistics.com. That's Big River Ballistics, where freedom fires. Big River Ballistics, Morton, Mississippi.
Hey guys, this is Casey Ellis with Ellis Autoplex, located on Highway 471 in Brandon. Ellis Autoplex, known as Little Truck City, is your old school mom and pop style dealership that's family owned and operated. We specialize in 4-wheel drive trucks, but don't worry, we have cars and SUVs too. Looking to sell your vehicle? Bring it by Ellis Autoplex, where we pay fair market value and we cut you a check on the spot. Need your vehicle service or repair? We can handle that too. Shop us online or set your appointment at Ellis.
And we're back here on the last segment of the Lindsey Beckham Show, talking about the Ladarien Jones case and the shooting of the Hinds County deputy last week. And he was now luckily taken into custody in Vicksburg. Was it yesterday, I believe? And we have gone through his extensive criminal history. The last thing we were talking about, he was on trial for murder, I believe, last year, where he was given what's called a directed verdict, and that means that the court felt that the evidence was legally insufficient to go to the jury and directed a judgment of acquittal for him. So
that's what should have happened in the Karen Reed trial.
Yeah, right. I mean, well, I remembered this. So hearing about this case with Judge Wooten, there was another one last year that something similar happened too. And I just had to look it up because it was sent to me. There's another Tyrese Jones, and he was actually convicted in January of 24 of first-degree murder. He was convicted. The jury convicted him, and then Judge Wooten threw the verdict out in what's called a judgment notwithstanding the verdict. And she did that on the basis of that I believe the police didn't properly investigate his self-defense claims, the defendant's self-defense claims, which
that seems like that doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
I mean, the justice, it's set up in a way where you're supposed to have a jury of your peers, and then the judge is just going to overthrow that.
Well, I mean, the judge has a power to do it. They can do that. It's called a judgment notwithstanding the verdict. But here, that was a reasoning for that the Jackson Police Department, I believe, didn't adequately investigate the defendants.
Did they adequately investigate anything?
Well, that they didn't adequately investigate the defendant's self-defense theory, which, as far as I know, I don't know that the police have a duty to do that. They just have a duty to find that there was no probable cause to make the arrest, and then the grand jury would indict that. So she threw that verdict out too. I think he later pled guilty, but in that case, and real quick before we finish, his self-defense theory was he shot the guy 17 times. So,
oh my gosh.
I mean, how
many times do you need to shoot in self-defense?
Yeah, that's a little bit of a problem there. Maybe that was enough investigation for the police when they said you shot him 17 times, huh? That's quite a bit. Yeah. So anyway, well, Lindsey, we'll see you tomorrow, and hopefully I'll see y'all next week. Bye.
See you then. Bye.